Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me, I have only a path, I'm lonely, but damn, I'm going to win. I don't want no fake love, I want the real stuff. Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you all the path, if you want it bad. I'm gonna show you where it's at, yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done.
Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome to iRacing.Outlaws TV. Tonight we come to the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway, located here in Knoxville, Iowa, for what is going to be an absolute wicked night of sprint car racing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the Asnd 360 Sprint Car Series tonight. It is retro night here at Knoxville Raceway. Let's take a look right now at some race cars on the racetrack as we'll get Trading Paint slotted up. It doesn't want to play the game with me tonight already. So I know, race fans, we have some beautiful looking race cars in the server for tonight. G'day to Pete Hobbs tuning in. Hello, mate. Hope you're well. Mark Stewart. Hope you're well as well, mate. So as we'll get our paint schemes loaded up on the racetrack for tonight. I tell you what, race fans, we are in for a wicked night of sprint car racing. Cars are out on the racetrack right now, just doing some hot laps. Hello, Cooper. How are you, mate? So as cars will start to load up, I know that we've got some really nice looking cars due to be out on the racetrack for tonight, race fans, as paint schemes will load up very soon. So Thomas Mitchell driving the Brett Lacey inspired paint scheme tonight. I know that we've got the Titan Garages and Carports Drew Cruck inspired paint scheme out there for tonight. There is Thomas Mitchell's car just showing up on the racetrack just now. Race fans, we are set to go right now for qualifying. 2 laps for each driver. And this is the way they'll do it. So each car will come out onto the racetrack. They'll start from exactly the same point on the speedway. And they'll get 2 laps on the clock. And the fastest lap of those 2 laps will be counted for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get qualifying underway here at Knoxville Raceway. As cars are about to load up, there is the number 27 car of Matt Iben. Beautiful looking race car. The Asnd sponsored number 27 car. Beautiful looking ride. As we'll get some lap time start to crank in now. Brooke Marquis in the Semi-Swindell inspired Hooters number 1 car. Out on the racetrack for tonight. And Brooke is currently third, now 5th quick with a 15.549. Barry Hodges out on the racetrack for tonight. In his machine, Luke Wilson. Oh, yeah, you can't go wrong with that. The Fight number 9 car, beautiful looking race car out there for Luke tonight. Paul Bryan has gone quick time, race fans. Paul Bryan, the man up sim racing, number 42. Quick time with a 15.323. Cooper Dunn, Craig Dunn goes quick time in the Cichlids Flow Racing number 57 car. G'day to Luke Johnson tuning in online. How are you, mates? There is Ethan Winter on the racetrack, the Titan Garages inspired car. That is the Swindell Speed Labs entry, though. Let's take a look at some other cars. There is Jason Crawford, the Speed Flow Shane Stewart inspired paint scheme. Number 6 machine out on the racetrack for tonight. And Jason Crawford is 17th quick with a 15.524. So we will get all these other guys on the screen as well. Travis Parrott in the Beef Packers number 33 car. Part of the Beef Packers Lasowski race team back in the day. Damien Powell there as well. Beautiful looking ride for Damien here tonight. Cameron De Bruin out on the racetrack as well. So too the Beef Packers Lasowski race team inspired paint scheme. I tell you what, a lot of these guys, race fans, how cool the effort that they've put in tonight for the retro night is absolutely unreal. Let's take a look at your qualifying results here tonight. Craig Dunn, 15.321 is your quick time man. Paul Bryan, Nick Ryan back in position number 3. Then you back to Travis Parrott, Luke Wilson, Chris Lacey, Ethan Winter, Riley Jones, and Daniel Boyd and Damien Powell to round out your top 10. Ladies and gentlemen, heat race number 1 about to line up on the speedway, and we'll get set to line them up this way. We're going to have a 12-car field for heat racing here tonight. Fix up my spelling mistake. So as they'll line up this way on the racetrack, Craig Dunn and Travis Parrott on the front row. Damien Powell and Ethan Winter on row number 2. Brock Lewis and Daniel Maloney on row number 3. Jason Crawford and Neville Ulf on row number 4. Cam De Bruin and Matt Iben on row number 5. Craig Plater and Gary Redcliffe down the back of the bus in car number 85. Let's see what other cars we got out on the racetrack for tonight. Craig Plater there in car number 69. Beautiful looking ride as well. If I'm not wrong, Johnson, please let me know. Is that a Lance DeWeese inspired colour scheme? If you're still watching, of course. So, ladies and gentlemen, 8 laps will be the distance for heat racing here tonight. Here at Knoxville Raceway, Craig Dunn and Travis Parrott on the front row. Ethan Winter and Damien Powell on row number 2. Brock Lewis and Daniel Maloney on row number 3. Set to do battle here right now, race fans. Let's get set to go. Pace car is off the infield. Craig Dunn and Travis Parrott on the front row. 8 laps on the board. We are green. As they race down into turn number 1 and 2. This time by down the back. Straight away, Craig Dunn is your early race leader into turn number 3 and 4 this time. Here comes Ethan Winter on the top side of the racetrack, looking for second right now over Travis Parrott. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go, heading down the back straight away. Damien Powell is in there as well in the 4th position right now. Jason Crawford being held up currently. Brock Lewis right in front of him. Crawford goes bottom side of the speedway. Gets shut big time down by Brock Lewis. Into turn number 1 and 2. This time by down the back chute we go. Into corners number 3 and 4. Craig Dunn holds down the race lead. We got a race on for second though. Between Ethan Winter and Travis Parrott. Oh, Crawford goes way high in turn number 1 and 2. We got a big crash down the back straight away. Into turn number 3 and 4 and down the main stretch. We are caution. Yellow is on the speedway for the first time here in heat race number 1. And that is not the way that you want to start your night here at Knoxville Raceway. As known, the sprint car capital of the world. A lot of crazy events held here at Knoxville Raceway in the real life sprint car world. Always one to watch the NOS Energy Drink Knoxville Nationals. One of the coolest 410 sprint car races on the planet. So as we will get set for a restart. Here in heat race number 1, Craig Dunn is your race leader. So I'm pretty sure as cars just waiting to line up in proper formation. So as we will get set to let them loose one more time. As mentioned before, some beautiful looking race cars out on the racetrack for tonight for retro night here tonight, race fans. So some beautiful looking cars. Jason Crawford down the back, or in the middle of the pack at the moment in that Speed Flow Shane Stewart inspired number 6 car. There's a Brooke Tatnall Shell Helix car in there as well. I think that might be Cam De Bruin. No, he's back there in the Beef Packers car. I think it might be Nev Alf in the Brooke Tatnall Shell Helix car. It is indeed. So big Neville Alf in the Shell Helix. Brooke Tatnall number 1. Beautiful looking car though. So as we get set right now for a restart, pace car is set to pull back in. Craig Dunn jumps on the fun gas and we go green. As we have 4 laps down and 4 laps left to go here in heat race number 1. Down to turn number 1 and 2 and down the back straight away this time. Into corners number 3 and 4 they go. Down the back stretch, main straightaway this time by. We'll have 3 laps to go. Here in heat race number 1, Parrot to the bottom side over Winter. Winter jumps on the anchors big time though. In the Swindell Speed Labs Titan inspired paint scheme, we are cautioned once again on the racetrack. Not what we want. I think it might have been Matty Iben and Craig Plater, as that's what it came up just as the yellow flag had come on to the speedway. Let's take a look at your replay on the racetrack. Yeah, they were 3 wide in turn number 1 and 2. Let's just wind that back just a tad. And we'll go in slow-mo. So Gary Redcliffe was in there in the man-up sim racing number 85 car. Craig Plater was right in the middle, and Matty Iben was trying to find a hole to get out of that. And I tell you what, race fans, unlucky for these 2 beautifully presented race cars tonight, as Craig Plater pulls it up on the top side of the speedway just in time before any heavy damage incurred on that race car. I think so as well, Johnson, to be honest with you, mate. It's got the Stewart name on it, though. So I'm pretty sure Shane Stewart did run it at one stage. And then, obviously, from that point, I think that's when after that, he went to race for the Monty team. So a lot of cool stories, race fans, for you guys watching tonight. A lot of cool stories behind a lot of these paint schemes. The Beef Packers entry as well, when Daniel Lasowski was over here in Australia running the Beef Packers Lasowski race team car, the number 83 machine. So as we are back to green right now for heat race number 1, Dan heads us down to 1 and 2. Ethan Winter back there in the second position. Then you're back to Travis Parrott in the Beef Packers Lasowski Racing number 33 car. Damien Powell up there as well in car number 52. Jason Crawford looks to the bottom side of the speedway, drifts up high down the back straight away. Looks for one last position into turn number 3 and 4 though. Craig Dunn will be in heat race number 1. Ethan Winter home second. Travis Parrott in third. And Damien Powell to round out your top 4 here in heat race number 1. Good job to Craig Dunn, the Sick Lids Flow Racing Elbows Up Sim Sports number 57. So good job to Craig getting the win in the 57 car. Let's take a look at your final results though. Make sure there's no post-race penalties. So there it is, race fans. Craig Dunn, Ethan Winter, Travis Parrott, Damien Powell, Jason Crawford, your top 5. New back to Brock Lewis, Gary Redcliffe, Cam De Bruin, Nev Ulf, Matt Iben, Daniel Maloney, and Craig Plater, your 12-car field. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look right now at your grid for heat race number 2. Paul Bryan in the man-up sim racing number 42 will start from 1. To his outside, driving car number 9, the big cat, Luke Wilson. Position number 3, driving the man-up sim racing number 99, that'll be Riley Jones. Position number 4, outside row number 2, driving car number 35, will be Barry Hodges. Position number 5, driving the Vortex Sim Sports SpeedShot51.com, WA02 in the Brett Lacey inspired paint scheme tonight, that'll be Thomas Mitchell. Position number 6, driving car number 27 for Synergy Sim Racing, that'll be Jaden Russell. Position number 7, driving car number 5, that'll be Nash Granger. Position number 8, driving car number 26, that'll be Leo Heaton. Position number 9, driving car number 71, that'll be Brooke Marquis. Position number 10, driving car number 30, that'll be Corey Borden. Position number 11, driving car number 25 tonight. Normally the 21 will be Kyle Collins. Position number 12, driving car number 34, that'll be Jason Hansen. So another 12-car field here in heat race number 2. And let's take a look at some more beautifully inspired race cars here tonight. And I tell you what, race fans, one car in particular stands out big time. The 1984 Gary Rush sprint car, driven tonight by Kyle Collins. Beautifully presented race car as well. So here we go, race fans. Heat race number 2. 12 cars. 8 laps on the board. We are green. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go. Paul Bryan heads down the back straight away. We are caution yellow is on the racetrack. So we will get set to line them up one more time. Paul Bryan in the Winfield inspired paint scheme. Very cool to have a lot of these guys in the field for tonight, race fans. Let's take a quick look at Kyle Collins' car. There it is, the 1984 GP cars, HM headers, Gary Rush sprint car. Beautifully prepared race car. All the way back from 1984. Tell you what, race fans, you see a lot of these cars tonight. Jason Hansen back there as well in the retro backed, beautifully presented number 11. Let's take a look at some other cars as well. Thomas Mitchell's car, the Brett Lacey inspired Speedshot51.com Racing Setups Australia, Vortex Sim Sports Pace Graphics, LCJ Carpentry, Western Australia 02. Very nice looking cars out there as well. Brooke Marquis back there in the Hooters, Sammy Swindell inspired number 1 car. I tell you what, race fans, a lot of these drivers have put in so much effort into these cars here tonight. Let's put your hands together for these drivers out in the pit area. So, race fans, looks like Luke Wilson penalised a couple of positions. Not sure what happened there. So as we get set right now for a restart here for heat race number 2. We will get set to let them loose this time by. So here we go, race fans. Paul Bryan in the Winfield Express. Rolling down the back straight away. Thomas Mitchell back there in the 3rd position. Riley Jones back there in the 2nd spot as well. Paul Bryan jumps back on the fun pedals. We go back to green. Into corners number 1 and 2 we go. Jones back there in the 2nd position. Here comes Thomas Mitchell though. Down the back straight away. Lukey Wilson looking to go back to the inside on Thomas Mitchell. Into turns number 3 and 4 we go though this time by. Down the main straight away. 2 laps. Or should I say 3 laps left to go. Nope. Laps have gone back, so laps are not counting. So we are actually only 2 laps into heat race number 2. So we still have 6 laps to go, or 5 laps to go, should I say. So we are into turn number 3 and 4 this time by. Down the main straight away. Paul Bryan is your race leader. Go back to Riley Jones. I tell you what, race fans, Lukey Wilson's making it work in the number 9 car. Thomas Mitchell under siege from Jaden Russell in Synergy Sim Racing, number 27. Jones takes the 2nd spot back away from Luke Wilson. Thomas Mitchell on the outside of Jaden Russell down the back straight. Into turn number 3 and 4 we go. Down the main chute. 2 laps left to go now for heat race number 2. Brian, Jones, Wilson, Mitchell, your top 4. Into corners number 3 and 4 we go, though, this time by down the main straightaway. 1 lap to go. Here comes Luke Wilson. Look out, Riley Jones. You've got company. Down the back straight away into turn number 3 and 4 for the final time. Ladies and gentlemen, your heat race number 2 winner is Paul Bryan. So good job to Paul Bryan in the Winfield-inspired Express number 42. As we will get set right now to take a look at your results for heat race number 2 coming up onto your screen. Craig Dunn, Ethan Winter, Travis Parrott, now back to Damien Pole, Jason Crawford. No, that's heat race number 2. We need that's heat race number 1. We need heat race number 2. That's better. Paul Bryan, Riley Jones, Luke Wilson, Thomas Mitchell, Jaden Russell, Leo Heaton, Brooke Marquis, then back to Granger, Collins, Hanson, Borden, and Hodges in position number 12. Heat race number 3, race fans lining up on the speedway. This is where they'll line up. Nick Ryan in car number 7 will line up on the pole position to his outside, driving car number 16, Chris Lacey. Position number 3, driving car number 79 for Vortex Sim Sports, that'll be Daniel Boyd. Position number 4, outside row number 2, will be the 15 car for Synergy Sim Racing, that'll be Hayden Vickers. Position number 5, driving the 9.5 Sim Sports number 23, that'll be Dylan O'Shea. Position number 6, outside row number 3, driving the Rutledge Brothers Racing number 81 car. He's got his dad's scheme on the car for tonight was a street stock paint scheme, but he's inspired that into the sprint car tonight, driving car number 81. That is Cole Ferguson. Position number 7, driving car number 17 for YOB Racing, that'll be Lockie Phillips. Position number 8, driving car number 88, that'll be Cody Malley. Position number 9, driving car number 18, that'll be Kobe Noonan. Position number 10, driving car number 28, that'll be Cameron McDonough. And position number 11, driving car number 21, will be Nick Mithen. So as cars now getting set to roll off. Heat race number 3. So yes, I would believe the George Tatnall Winfield car. Johnson, thank you. So what can Cole Ferguson do with his dad's livery on the race car tonight? As the Beef Packers number 83 car set to go. That is Nick Ryan. No, it's not Nick Ryan. It is Nick Ryan in the Beef Packers number 83 car. So Chris Lacey's early race leader. We are caution yellow is on the speedway. So Nick Ryan also in the Beef Packers Lazowski Racing number 83. So how cool, race fans, to see these cars on the racetrack for tonight. Cannot go wrong. So as we will get set to line them up one more time. And we will get set to go once more. So here we go, race fans, as cars will get set to line up one more time. And we'll get set to unleash them. So Nick Ryan will head back up to the front of the field. So cool to see heaps of people tuning in tonight, race fans. Share the broadcast out. Get your friends watching for Retro Night. Here tonight, we're going to see some beautiful race cars lining up on the racetrack throughout tonight. Nick Ryan in the Beef Packers Lasowski Racing number 83 car heads off the field. And we are back to green. Nick Ryan heads down to turn number 1 and 2. Chris Lacey back there in car number 16. Daniel Boyd back there in car number 79. Hayden Vickers as well in that orange number 15 machine. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go. Oh, Daniel Boyd under siege from Hayden Vickers. Down the back chute we go into turn number 3 and 4. Beautifully presented race car as well for Daniel Boyd. How cool is that paint scheme? That's pretty cool. So Chris Lacey now taking the race lead away from Nick Ryan into turn number 3 and 4 this time. Down the main straightaway, 4 down and 4 to go. Here in heat race number 3. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go. Lockie Phillips looking to the outside of Hayden Vickers. He's got the position down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3 and 4 we run this time by Chris Lacey, the Victorian, in the Cichlids number 16 machine. Heads down the back chute. Into corners number 3 and 4. Here comes Daniel Boyd looking for another position on Nick Ryan. Down the main straightaway we go though. 2 laps to go here in heat race number 3. Wow, that was close. Ryan nearly made contact there with Chris Lacey and pulled the car up in time. Good car control from Nick Ryan. Into turn number 1 and 2. White flag is out though. So they pass the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame Museum and the Brian Clausen Sweet Tower. Into turn number 3 and 4 this time. And we will see Chris Lacey win heat race number 3. Second will go to Daniel Boyd. Third to Nick Ryan. Fourth to Lockie Phillips. And fifth to Hayden Vickers. Well, race fans, let's take a look at your results for heat race number 3. Chris Lacey, Daniel Boyd, Nick Ryan, Lockie Phillips, Hayden Vickers, Cody Malley, Dylan O'Shea, Kobe Noonan. No, for some reason it's showing me the wrong. No, no, it is right. For some reason, I thought it was wrong for some reason. Kobe Noonan, Cam McDonough, Nick Mitten. Or Mitten, I think, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, and Cole Ferguson down the back of the bus, unfortunately not finishing heat race number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your grid right now for heat race number 4. Sorry, this is your first of 2, should be B mains on the program tonight. So Neville Olf and Kyle Collins on row number 1. Teammates as well on the front row. Cam McDonough and Matt Iben on row number 2. Jason Hansen and Nick Mitten in row number 3. Daniel Maloney, Corey Borden in row number 4. And then go back to Cole Ferguson, Craig Plater and Barry Hodges to round out the field here for tonight's C main. So these 2 drivers on the front of the front row, race fans, are teammates. One in the Shell Helix Brooke Tatnall inspired sprint car, and the other on the front row in the 1984 GP cars. HM Headers Gary Rush sprint car. That is Kyle Collins on the outside of the front row. Beautiful looking car. I'll tell you what though, race fans, one car that we're not seeing out there tonight is the Bike Biz Kerry Madsen inspired sprint car. Now, it is an 80s and 90s retro night, but I know the Madsen car was an early 2000s. But I'm pretty sure before that he had the 29 on the car as well. So I think it could be an late 1990s to early 2000s car. So as we are green for tonight's C main, Matt Iben right round the top side. Neville Olf has had a shocker of a start here in tonight's C main. Kyle Collins running away with this one in car number 25. Into turn number 1 and 2. Iben trying to track down Kyle Collins though. We've nearly got a race on for the lead into turn number 3 and 4. Down the main straightaway we go. Collins into turn number 1 and 2, running the top side of the speedway. Into corners number 3 and 4 we go though, this time by Matt Iben. Trying to track down Kyle Collins for the race lead. As we head into turn number 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway this time into corners number 3 and 4 we go. And it will be all on here tonight, race fans. Collins, we are yellow. As we currently under the caution lights here tonight. So as we will line them up and get set to go once more. So as we will get set to line them up and unleash these guys for the remainder of tonight's C main. I know that there was so as we go back to green here for tonight's C main, Kyle Collins is your race leader to turn number 1 and 2. Down the back straight away we go to turn number 3 and 4 this time. Collins, we are yellow once more. Looks like Craig Plater could be in the 69 car. So as we will get set to go once more, we'll get these cars lined up. There we go. This is what I was looking for. So out of this one, race fans, top 4 will advance through to tonight's B main. And then out of that, we'll have the top 4 through to tonight's feature. We've also got a pole shootout happening here tonight, race fans, as well. So you'll see in the warm-up session in a couple of races' time, you'll see the cars come out and we'll have what we call a pole shootout. So like a gold, like a bronze, silver, and gold sort of sequence. But it'll be more like a qualifying session. So we'll have 2 cars at a time. And we'll have some times come up onto the screen as Kyle Collins jumps back on the fun pedal here in tonight's C main. Down the back, straight away we go. Into corners number 3 and 4, Kyle Collins. And then Gary Rush. Inspired Sprint Car, the GP Cars HM Headers car. Into turn number 1 and 2, we go down the back, straight away. Into corners number 3 and 4, Matty Iben. Trying to make something happen in car number 27 as well. Meanwhile, 1 lap to go. for Kyle Collins. I know crew chief will be absolutely in the air in this one. Into turn number 3 and 4, though, for last time. Kyle Collins will win tonight's C main. Matty Ivan back there in second, and Neville Olf in position number 3. Cole Ferguson rounds out your top 4. And your top 4 out of that one, race fans, will transfer through to tonight's B main. So we'll see those 4 cars do it all once again. So we'll take a look at your results quickly for tonight's C main. Kyle Collins gets the job done over Matt Iben, and then go back to Neville Olf, Cole Ferguson in the top 4. So you'll see those 4 cars, top 4, we'll now see in tonight's B main. They'll start down the back of the bus from positions 13 through to 16. And then you're back to Nick Midden, Jason Hansen, Craig Platter, Cam McDonough, Barry Hodges, Dan Maloney, and Corey Borden to round out your 11-car field from the C main. As we've got now 16 cars to line up for tonight's B main. Jason Crawford and Jaden Russell on the front row, Hayden Vickers and Brock Lewis in row number 2. Leo Heaton and Cody Malley in row number 3. Gary Radcliffe and Brooke Marquis on row number 4. Dylan O'Shea and Cam De Bruyne in row number 5. Nash Granger and Kobe Noonan in row number 6. As we roll down the page, row number 7 is Kyle Collins and Matt Iben, Neville Olf and Cole Ferguson. So positions 13, 14, 15 and 16 are your transferees from the C main. This one will go 12 laps in distance. And we'll see the 4 cars out of this one to transfer through to tonight's A main. Well, race fans, let's get set to do this one. 12 laps on the board. Jason Crawford in that speed flow performance. Number 6. Beautifully prepared race car. Jaden Russell on his outside. Hayden Vickers and Brock Lewis in row number 2. Leo Heaton and Cody Malley in row number 3. Let's see who's going to transfer from this one, race fans. Let's get set to do battle. B main, 12 laps on the board. Crawford and Russell, we're green. Not sure whether that might have been a bit of a jump start by the outside car on the front row. But we will stay green in this one. Jason Crawford now chasing down Jaden Russell. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go. Down the back straight away. Vickers back there in position number 3. Into turns number 3 and 4 this time by down the main straight away. Hopefully live timing will fix up. There we go. So Jaden Russell is your race leader to turn number 3 and 4. Crawford back there in position number 2. Then you go back to Vickers. Cody Malley back there in position number 4. Brock Lewis battling with Brooke Marquis right now. But your race is on for the lead. Into turn number 3 and 4. Russell runs a slider line up to the top side of the speedway. Catches the wall out of turn number 4. Holds down the speed in that race car. Into turn 1 and 2 we go. Crawford spun the wheels a bit in turn number 1 and 2. Into turns number 3 and 4 this time. Brock Lewis trying to make something happen in car number 8. We are yellow. Caution on the speedway. As we will get set to do battle right now. So we will get set to unleash them one more time here at Knoxville Raceway. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed all the action here tonight, race fans. We've seen an immense amount of beautiful race cars on the speedway. Some cars that back from the early 80s and 90s. So we will get set to unleash them one more time. Jaden Russell, Jason Crawford, Hayden Vickers, Brock Lewis, Cody Malley are your top 5. But remember, race fans, it's only the top 4 that make it through to the A main. So if you're in the top 4, you've got the chance to transfer on. So we will get set to do battle this time by Jason Crawford back there in position number 2. Jaden Russell is your race leader. As we go back to green for this one. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go. Russell heads down the back chute. Oh, climbed the cushion big time. Did Jaden Russell. Into turn number 3 and 4 we go. That top side always gets a little bit gnarly here at Knoxville. As Crawford swings it into turn number 1 and 2. Brock Lewis has got an immense amount of car speed in number 8 now. Into turn number 3 and 4. Unsettled a big time on the top side of the speedway now. We've got 5 laps to go. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go. Oh, Brock Lewis. Unsettle the race car big time in turn number 1 and 2. And oh my giddy aunt race fans, that just goes to show what happens if you climb the cushion. So Brock Lewis hit the cushion big time in turn 1 and 2, unsettle the race car, and you just see a bicycle. And you can tell Brock Lewis is just a passenger from that point on. And a bit of a pirouette there from Brock Lewis's car. Oh, Matty Iben got in there too. So, unfortunate for Brock Lewis. And just goes to show race fans, the top side of the racetrack here at Knoxville is going to be gnarly here tonight. So, who will transfer on through to tonight's A-Main? Cody Malley is now back there in the 4th position. Jaden Russell, Jason Crawford, Hayden Vickers, Cody Malley, Neville Ulf in position number 5. Kyle Collins out for tonight. Unfortunately, in car number 25, the Gary Rush Gambler car. Unfortunately, now back in the pit area, will no take further part here in tonight's B main. Through turn number 3 and 4, though, this time by down the main straightaway. We've got 3 to run. Here in tonight's B main, Crawford through turn number 1 and 2. Down the back straight we go. Crawford got a little bit sideways there in car number 6. Through turn number 3 and 4, though. Made a lot of ground up on Jaden Russell this time. Down the main straightaway. 2 laps to go. Oh, Crawford nearly made contact there with the 27 of Jaden Russell. Into turn number 3 and 4. Crawford trying to make something happen with this race car right now. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go. For the final time and down the back chute. Into corners number 3 and 4, race fans. Jaden Russell will win tonight's B-Main. 2nd will go to Jason Crawford. 3rd to Hayden Vickers. And 4th, transferring through to tonight's A-Main, I'm going to have a look at that because Neville Olf and Cody Malley were side by side at the start line. So let's take a look at your final results. So your top 4 cars through to tonight's A-Main: Jaden Russell, Jason Crawford, Hayden Vickers and Cody Malley are your top 4 through to tonight's A-Main. Unfortunately for Ulf, Granger, Noonan, Redcliffe, De Bruin, Ivan, Lewis, Heaton, Marquis, O'Shea, Ferguson and Kyle Collins, unfortunately missing out in that beautifully presented 1984 Gary Rush Gambler car. Now, how this works, race fans, we have a pole shootout about to happen on the racetrack. 2 cars. They get a couple of qualifying laps. Craig Dunn is one of the first, so too Ethan Winter are your 2 cars first out in this one. Now, the fastest lap time will start on the pole position for tonight's 30-lap sprint car A-Main. Let's take a look at some lap times about to come through, race fans. Craig Dunn is your first with a 16.449. Ethan Winter about to cross the start line now with a 16.602. Craig Dunn, can he go any faster? In car number 57. Yes, he does with a 16.375. Ethan Winter, what's he got left in car number 1? Does he go any quicker? No, he doesn't. 16.602 for Ethan Winter. So those 2 drivers will retire back to the pit area. So car to beat at the moment is the 57 of Craig Dunn. The Elbows Up Sim Sports, flowracing.com. Cichlids, number 57. So, race fans, next car out on the racetrack, driving the Winfield Racing Express, number 42 for Men Up Sim Racing, that is Paul Bryan. Also on the racetrack, driving car number 99 for Men Up Sim Racing, that is Riley Jones. So, race fans, lap time's about to come through on the racetrack. Paul Bryan, 16.606. Riley Jones will come through this time by and lay down his first lap time. So Riley Jones jumps to position number 3 with a 16.558. As Paul Bryan, second quick with a 16.413. As Riley Jones will lay down his second lap time. Can he go any faster? Yes, he does. 16.415. Just 2 1,000ths of a second, race fans, over between him, the 2 teammates on the racetrack. So those 2 drivers, 2 1,000ths of a second between Paul Bryan and Riley Jones. So 16.413 and 16.415 by Paul Bryan and Riley Jones. Craig Dunn is still the car to beat. Chris Lacey and Daniel Boyd are your next 2 drivers out on the racetrack. Chris Lacey will collect the green flag for the first time. Now on a timed lap for Chris Lacey. Daniel Boyd just crosses the start line now in the Speedshot51.com Retro Express. As Chris Lacey will lay down his first lap time, 4th quick, 16.504. For Chris Lacey, Daniel Boyd will lay down his first lap time now. He jumps to position number 6, 17.165. Chris Lacey, can he go any faster? Jumps to the top of the timesheets. Chris Lacey, quick time, 16.316. Daniel Boyd, can he go any faster out on the speedway? Yes, he does. 16.623. Remains in position number 6. But Chris Lacey now the car to beat with a 16.316. Well, race fans, next cars to come out onto the speedway. whether it's a top 6. I think it might be a top 6. So 4 heat races. So, yeah, makes sense. So I think it was top 2 from each of the pole shuffles. Sorry, from each of the heat races. I'm just going to have a quick lookie. So, yeah, it was the top 2 from the shootout. To the shootout. Well, race fans, looks like that will do it for tonight's pole shootout. Chris Lacey will start on the pole position here tonight with Craig Dunn, Paul Bryan, Riley Jones, Ethan Winter, and Daniel Boyd in position number 6. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look right now at your starting field for tonight's Sprint Car A main. We'll start from the back to the front. Starting from position number 24, driving car number 26, Leo Heaton. Position number 23, driving car number 8, will be Brock Lewis. Position number 22, driving the Dropper Gear Motorsports, number 27, Matt Iben. Position number 21, driving car number 35, Cameron De Bruin. Position number 20, driving car number 85, Gary Redcliffe. Position number 19, driving car number 18, Kobe Noonan. Position number 18, driving car number 5, Nash Granger. Position number 17, driving car number 1 here tonight, the Brook Tatnall inspired Shell Helix inspired paint scheme out of the JSI Racing Sim Sports stable. Driving car number 1 tonight will be Neville Olf. Position number 16, driving car number 88, Cody Malley. Position number 15, driving car number 15, Hayden Vickers. Position number 14, and a beautifully prepared race car driving the Speed Flow Performance, number 6 from Victoria, Jason Crawford. Position number 13, driving the Synergy Sim Racing, number 27, Jaden Russell. Position number 12, driving car number 17, Lachlan Phillips. Position number 11, driving car number 02 from Western Australia, the Brett Lacey inspired Speedshot51.com LCJ Carpentry entry. That will be Thomas Mitchell. Position number 10, driving car number 52, Damien Powell. Position number 9, driving car number 7, Nick Ryan. Position number 8, driving car number 9, the Big Cat, Luke Wilson. Position number 7, driving car number 33, Travis Parrott. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now 4 wide. This is a sign of respect, race fans. To you, there is no better sight in world motorsport than the 4 wide salute to you, the race fans. Please bang your hands together for the drivers this evening, as they are 4 wide. A sign of respect to you, the race fans, for tuning in and watching the Asnd Australian Sunday Night Dirt Retro Nationals. All race fans, 30 laps on the board, as cars now told to line up in what we call the double conga line of menace. The final race of the evening, race fans, and this is where it comes down to. Craig Dunn and Chris Lacey on the front row. Paul Bryan and Riley Jones in row number 2. Ethan Winter and Daniel Boyd in row number 3. So the drivers will quickly catch up to the iRacing.com official pace truck. So how cool, race fans. We are set to go. 2x2 formation. Ladies and gentlemen, for the final time here tonight, here at Knoxville Raceway, it's time. Here at Knoxville Raceway, race fans, retro night for the Australian Sunday Night Dirt Elite Sprint Car Series. 30 laps on the board. We're green. As they race aggressively into turn number 1 and 2. Nearly 3 wide, middle of the pack into turn number 3 and 4 for the first time. Chris Lacey's in the wall in car number 16. No! Oh dear. Damien Pohl made contact with the 16 car of Chris Lacey. Down the back straight away we go into turn number 3 and 4. This time by fireworks still going off here at Knoxville Raceway. Paul Bryan up into position number 2. Craig Dunn is your race at all. Cars getting together there in turn number 1 and 2. Through turn number 3 and 4 this time by. Down the main straight away we go. We're now 3 down and 27 to go. We are caution yellow on the speedway. So it looks like Kobe Noonan out for tonight. Unfortunately, looks like a few cars out for tonight. Shawnee, mate, we're missing you here tonight, mate. Obviously, hopefully, I was hoping you were going to have like some really cool retrospective looking sprint car out there tonight. So as we get set right now to line these guys up one more time. How cool to see that car on the field for tonight, race fans. The Winfield Racing Express George Tatnall inspired sprint car. So just to go through the field at the moment, Luke Wilson already up 5 positions. Here in tonight's A-Main, Kobe Noonan. If he's still in the field, looks like he's still out there. He's up 6. So as we get set right now for a restart. So here we go, race fans. Set to let them loose one more time. Paul Bryan back there in the 2nd position. Craig Dunn is your race leader in car 57. Nick Ryan still back there as well. In position number 7 at the moment. In the Beef Packers Lazowski Racing, number 83. Thomas Mitchell back there as well in the 8th spot in the Brett Lacey inspired. WA02 entry. Who won the footy, Sean? You got to tell us, mate. Who won the footy? So here we go, race fans. Single file restart here at Knoxville Raceway. Craig Dunn set to lead us away. We are back to green. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go. Luke Wilson back there in position number 3 in car number 9. Into turn number 3 and 4 this time by. Down to turn number 1 and 2. Brian on the top side. We know what happened to Brock Lewis earlier on tonight in the number 8 machine. Upended that race car and pirouetted big time in the B main. Lucky to see him out here for the A main tonight as well. Into turn 1 and 2. Down the back straight away we go. Paul Bryan and Craig Dunn. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a battle for the lead at a turn number 4 this time by down the main straight away with 25 laps to go. Into turn 1 and 2. Lukey Wilson back there in position number 3. Riley Jones back there in position number 4 at the moment in car number 99. Thomas Mitchell trying to come through the field as well. He's up to the 6th position. In car 02. Down the back straight away we go into turn number 3 and 4 this time. Craig Dunn on the top side of the racetrack. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go. Brian on the top side. Nearly pulls even with Craig Dunn. Down the back straight away we go into turn number 3 and 4 this time. Dunn on the bottom. Brian on the top side. Brian drifts down low in turn number 3 and 4. Back up to the top side in 1 and 2. Paul Bryan on the cushion. Lucky not to unsettle that race car thus far here in tonight's A main. This time by 10 laps down and 20 laps to go. Here in tonight's sprint car A main, Lukey Wilson running the bottom side of the speedway beautifully in car number 9 right now through turn number 3 and 4 we go. Craig Dunn. We are caution yellow is on the speedway here at Knoxville Raceway right now. Looks like Travis Parrott in car number 33. The Beef Packers Lazowski Racing. Number 33 car. So as we get set right now for a restart one more time. So here we go, race fans. Set to do battle one more time. 20 laps left on the clock. So here we go, race fans. Craig Dunn, Paul Bryan, Luke Wilson, Riley Jones, Thomas Mitchell, Lockie Phillips, Daniel Boyd are your top 7. We've still got 19 laps to go. Here in tonight's sprint car A main. Down the back straight away we go as we are back to green. Craig Dunn runs the bottom side of the speedway through turn number 3 and 4. Down the main chute we go. Back down to 1 and 2. Mitchell nearly goes 3 wide. Splits him though. 3 wide down the back straight away into turn number 3 and 4. Beautiful move by Thomas Mitchell in the WA02 car. The Brett Lacey inspired machine. Found the hole and made it work. Now up to the 4th position is Thomas Mitchell. Into turn number 3 and 4 we go though this time by your biggest mover thus far here in tonight's sprint car A main is Cam De Bruin. Up 10 positions thus far here in tonight's sprint car A main. This time by through turn number 3 and 4 be 15 laps down and 15 laps to go. Here in tonight's A main, Paul Bryan is closing on your race leader of Craig Dunn. Here comes Luke Wilson though to the inside on Paul Bryan. They nearly touch wheels down the back straight away into turn number 3 and 4. Thomas Mitchell is there waiting to pounce in the 02 car. Through turn number 1 and 2 we go one more time. We are caution yellow, yellow, yellow. On the racetrack right now. Good to know, Sean. Good to know. See you Sunday, mate. So if you guys are heading to any real racetracks this weekend, let us know. I know I'm heading to Eastern Creek Speedway for another round of the Sprint Car Track Championship at Eastern Creek. Pretty sure the wingless cars are on as well. So as we get set to go one more time. So 18 laps in to tonight's Sprint Car A main. So we're getting closer and closer to the very end. We've still got about 13 laps to go, somewhat thereabouts. So here we go, race fans. Pace car will be getting set to pull off the circuit very soon. Thomas Mitchell has made that car work since the drop of the green flag here at Knoxville Raceway. Jason Crawford down the back of the bus, unfortunately out for tonight. So a few cars in the pit area. So we have about 16 cars or so left on the circuit. And we'll be getting set to go green this time by Craig Dunn. Is your race leader. We get set to go back to green right now. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go. Dunn on the bottom side of the speedway. Paul Bryan runs the cushion down the back chute. Into turn number 3 and 4. Lockie Phillips looking to the inside on Thomas Mitchell. They bang wheels in turn 3 and 4 though. Into turn number 1 and 2 this time with 12 laps to go. Down the back straight away into corners number 3 and 4. Paul Bryan is catching Craig Dunn. Down the main straight away we go. Lukey Wilson is riding there as well. In car number 9. What's the Hobbs trenching and boring? 81 Racewear. Beat the Dark sponsored number 9 car. Got left in the tank here tonight. We are cautioned with 10 laps to go. Not the way to end your night for some of these drivers, race fans. Oh dear. So as we are under caution lights one more time here at Knoxville Raceway, hopefully we'll get this one in the books. So your current lineup at the moment is Craig Dunn in the pole position. Paul Bryan back there in second. Luke Wilson is third. Thomas Mitchell is fourth. Lockie Phillips is fifth. Jaden Russell sixth. Neville Alf seventh. And one of your biggest movers thus far here in tonight's Sprint Car A main, as live timing doing its thing. So Neville Alf in 7th, Riley Jones back there in 8th, Daniel Boyd is 9th, Hayden Vickers is 10th, Cody Malley is 11th, Gary Redcliffe is 12th, Nash Granger is 13th, Damien Powell is 14th, Kobe Noonan is 15th, and Nick Ryan is 16th. As we go back to green right now here at Knoxville Raceway. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go. Paul Bryan. What's he got left in the tanking car? 42. What about Lukey Wilson? On the bottom side of the racetrack, he's making that car work like a boss. Into turn number 1 and 2. Lukey Wilson tries to throw in a slider on Paul Bryan. Can't make it work though. Down the back straight away into turn number 3 and 4 we go though this time by. Wilson on the bottom side of the racetrack. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go. Luke Wilson trying to take second away from Paul Bryan right now. Into turn number 3 and 4 we go though. Here comes Thomas Mitchell as well. In car 02. Through turn number 1 and 2 we go. Mitchell on the top side of the racetrack. Nearly unsettled the race car big time in the turn number 1 and 2. Through turn number 3 and 4 we go though this time by. Lukey Wilson is battling side by side right now with the 42 of Paul Bryan. Into turn number 1 and 2 we go. Wilson can't make anything happen right now with the 42. Through turn number 3 and 4 this time by. We are now 25 laps down with 5 laps to go. Into turn number 1 and 2 we roll. Bryan. Here comes Thomas Mitchell though, looking for third. Into turn number 3 and 4 we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this time by we have 4 laps to run. Here in tonight's Retro Sprint Car A-Main. Through 1 and 2 we go. Wilson not letting anything happen. Oh, Mitchell nearly in the wall there in turn on the back straightaway, sorry. Made contact there with Luke Wilson. Down the main straightaway we go. Back down to 1 and 2. Phillips is in there as well in position number 5. Jaden Russell in 6. Never Alford 7th. Dating it back to Daniel Boyd, Gary Redcliffe, and Riley Jones back there in position number 10. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have 2 laps to go. Here in tonight's A-Main for the Sprint Cars. Down the back chute we go into turn number 3 and 4 this time. As we'll see the white flag this time by for Craig Dunn. An absolute weapon of a night for the 57 car of Craig Dunn. Down the back straight away we go for the final time into turn number 3 and 4. There's a battle on for third though. Race fans, Craig Dunn gets the job done. Here in tonight's Sprint Car A-Main, Thomas Mitchell steals third away from Luke Wilson. On the final corner, Paul Bryan home second. Luke Wilson will come home 4th. Lockie Phillips 5th. Jaden Russell 6th. And oh my giddy aunt race fans. Oh my. I wish I could be louder and I wish I could be more excited. But I tell you what, race fans, unfortunately the family is all asleep, so I've got to be a little bit quiet. Well, race fans, here is your full field rundown for tonight's Sprint Car A-Main. Craig Dunn gets the job done over Paul Bryan. Then back to Thomas Mitchell, Luke Wilson, Lockie Phillips, Jaden Russell, Neville Olf, Daniel Boyd, Gary Redcliffe, and Riley Jones to round out your top 10. Let's look at your back half now with Cody Malley, Nick Ryan, Hayden Vickers, Nash Granger, Kobe Noonan, Damien Powell, Cam De Bruin, and Travis Parrott to round out your top 18 cars. As we'll take a look at your back half as well. Position 19 was Ethan Winter. 20th was Jason Crawford. 21st was Chris Lacey. 22nd was Matt Iben. Near back to Brock Lewis, Leo Heaton, Brooke Marquis, Dylan O'Shea, Cole Ferguson, and Kyle Collins to round out your 28-car field here tonight. Well, race fans, tonight is done. We'll have a chat with your top 3 as they're all waiting for me in the chat. So hopefully we can get the other 2 guys in here to have a quick chat with us. So we will have a quick chat with third place here tonight. Well, race fans, home in position number 3. This guy should have a big smile on his face. beautifully presented race car as well, driving the Brett Lacey inspired Speed Factory, speedshot51.com. WA02, how about a race, fans, for Thomas Mitchell? Thomas, mate, first of all, beautifully presented race car, mate, here tonight for a retro night. The 80s and 90s themed here tonight. Obviously, mate, that's got to be a pretty cool result for third place.
Yeah, Matty, it was we started 11th there and we just worked our way to the top. Yeah, once we found the groove, it sort of stuck there. Good racing there between Luke, but we got there in the end and drove the wheels off it.
Mate, awesome job here tonight. This track was pretty tricky, mate. I seen you almost unsettle a race car a couple of times on the cushion. We're seeing what happened to Brock Lewis in the B main, but obviously, mate, that's that top side of the speedway, mate. She was pretty gnarly up there.
Yeah, man, we were railing the top there, and a couple of times it was biking up. So decided to run a couple of lines on the bottom, but found that didn't really work there. So we went up to the top there and just risked it on the top there, and it biked up a couple more times. But we just backed off the throttle, let it bite up a bit more, and drove it off the top.
Mate, awesome job here tonight. Again, beautifully prepared race car. Obviously, just talk us through the inspiration with this race car.
I've just always been a fan of the Brett Lacey car, and yeah, so it's the Lacey family. If I could run it, and they let me in, so we made it into tonight. So it's all good.
Well, mate, we know there's a lot of good people on this race car, a lot of good people behind the scenes with your team as well. Let's thank all those sponsors and guys behind the scenes as well. Take the time, mate.
It's got to thank all the viewers, the league admins putting on the show, you for the broadcast, guys for Vortex making it happen, speedshot51.com, LCG Carpentry, Pace Graphics and Styled Imagery.
Well, race fans, how about it? Please give it up for third place here tonight for the retro night here for the Asnd 360 Sprint Car Series. How about it for the WA02 of Thomas Mitchell? Good job, mate. Hopefully we'll see you back Sunday for the JSI night. Well done, mate.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, that was your third place driver of Thomas Mitchell. I'm just going to check with admins and see if we have other drivers. So just going to see if we have our other two drivers possibly could be waiting somewhere for us. So we might just double check on that. Not sure what the go would be. Doesn't look like so. Doesn't look like we're going to have positions 2 and position 1. So, bit unfortunately, race fans, to not have second and first to have a chat with us. Well, race fans, we'll cap the night off here at Knoxville Raceway. We'll see you guys back on Sunday night for round number 10 of the JSI Sundays Hobbs Trenching and Boring 360 Sprint Car Stampede, live here on iRacing Outlaws TV. We say goodnight. Hopefully enjoy your weekend, race fans. If you're going to a real racetrack, cheer on your favourite sprint car driver or whatever you may be watching, whether it's modified, sprint cars, midgets, wingless and so forth. Be sure to cheer on your favourite driver. Hopefully see you guys Sunday for round number 10 of the JSI Sundays Hobbs Trenching Boring 360 Sprint Car Series. My name is Matt Bailey. We say goodnight for now here from Knoxville Raceway.